Welcome back to the class of Social Science, Civics class for chapter number 1, part 2 for class 9. The name of the chapter is Democracy in the Contemporary World. I repeat the topic, Democracy in the Contemporary World. The contents of part 2 are recap of part 1, difference among monarch, democracy and dictatorship, two tales of democracy, democracy in Chile, Salter Allende, Pinchet's rule, Michel Bachelet and democracy in Poland. In this student chapter, actually we are going to discuss about two important countries where previously it was a democratic form of government, suddenly it changed into a military form of government, and again it was being changed into democratic format, and how these changes occur. For that we are going to discuss about in this topic. So that is why it is said to be the two tales. Tales you mean stories of democracy. So let's start with this presentation. Before starting about the two tales of democracy, let me have some quick recap of part 1. Do you all remember what is democracy is? Democracy means to the people, for the people and by the people. The very important discussion and given by the statement by Abraham Lincoln, who was the first president of America. What he actually said in this, he said that whatever the rules, the regulations are being made inside any country is being made and only for the citizens of the country. The representatives who are making these rules are elected from the public or the citizens itself. So it means whatever the function goes inside any country is only related to the people, where people elect their own members, the elected members govern the nation for the citizens, on behalf of the citizens, and whatever the policies they make is also make only for the citizens' betterment. So this was actually the democracy is. Now, what are the two types of democracy that we discussed? The two types of democracy was, tell me, the direct democracy and indirect democracy. In direct democracy, the people used to include themselves in the decision-making procedures, like the example of Switzerland. Now, in indirect democracy, where the representatives have the authority to take the decision making on behalf of the citizens. Example, remember any example to it? India, exactly. Now, before all those things, we also discussed about the types of government that we are having. How many types of government we did studied in the part 1? Anyone can tell me? Okay, let me tell you once again. First one, it was monarchic type of government, democratic, dictatorship, arbitrary, republic and aristocracy. So these were the types of the government that we had discussed, and it was going on throughout the whole world. Now, what are the basic features or the importance of democracy? It used to provide you the freedom of equality, freedom to the press, freedom to the speak. It also used to check out the work of the government. It means keep proper eye on the functions of government. Responsibilities of the government is also there, where the government has its own responsibilities and they have to fulfill all those responsibilities for maintaining peace and harmony inside the country, taking care of the citizens and other factors responsible for the development of the country. This we all discussed in part 1. Now let's continue with the part 2. Now in part 2, firstly I want to discuss with you all difference among monarch, dictatorship and democracy. These are the three important types of government that are being run in the previous era. Previously, some countries were going to the monarch system, some countries were following the democratic type of government, and some countries were following the dictatorship. Now what do you mean by the monarch? The power will be in one hand itself, and else others should follow the words of a person, same like as a king. The king who is only the ruling authority of the country, and the citizen of that country has to follow what the king has ordered. Did you all remember the French Revolution? In that, who was the monarch over there? The leader, King Louis XVI, and the people had to follow him, whether he do make any rules or regulation related to the benefit of the citizen or related to benefit about itself. The king or the ruler will be most probably decided by the following of the ancestors. Yes, here as whatever just imagine the King Louis XVI. How did the King Louis XVI became the king? Because of his grandpa, King Louis XIV, who was the king of France, and as he expired, the grandson King Louis XVI overthrown the reign. The ruler will be one who will be direct everyone in his nation. It means no one will be superior than him. He all alone will make him as a king. The monarch is no more followed now. Now here in this present era, none of the country is following the system of monarch. In ancient times, whenever we go, there will be rulers or even more people under the rulers like soldiers, local leaders, etc. Now here, nothing was like that. In this present era, after the abolition of monarch, everything vanished. But in the previous time, there were the rulers and some many other people who were helping to govern the nation with the ruler. The soldiers, the local leaders. Now, who were the local leaders? Did you remember? We used in the tales, in the historic stories like Ramayana or the Mahabharata, there were the prime minister also, there were the chief soldier also, who used to take the functions of other various categories of the military. The prime minister who used to take all the procedure, the important decision, and help the king to take the important decisions of the country, and several other aspects. Two people were being indulged in that. So all these people were coming in the monarchy sort of government. During the times of monarch, there were always wars going on for power. One country was fighting with another country for war. Remember Napoleon Bonaparte? What he was doing? He was enlarging his empire, and for enlarging the empire, what he was doing? He was fighting with the European countries, by which he can extend his power and also he can extend his region. And also many of the kings or the ruler just got for the war to also extend their treasury in form of collecting other resources. Other resources means gold, minerals, food, etc. So, did you all understood the meaning of monarch? Monarch means where the power is in one hand and the citizen of those country has to follow their ruler, whatever the king says to them. Usually, the kings are being appointed on the procedure of their Hereditary procedure, it means from their ancestors. It is a passing one generation to the or holding or passing of one power to the another generation of the same family. Next one, that in present scenario, no of the country or none country are following the system of monarch. In the previous era or in the ancient time, not only there were rulers, but also with the rulers there were several other people who used to help the government to run. Most important thing, at that time in the monarchy time, it was usually being held that the people or the king was mostly indulged in the warfares. Why warfare? Because either they want to extend their empire and also they were wanted to collect other resources, important resources like gold, minerals, food, etc. from other countries. This was monarch. Now, what is democracy? Commonly known, as you all know, for the people, by the people and to the people. The people own self-elect their own representatives wherever they want to elect for their nation, and also even they also elect either their president or their leader who is going to take care of them on behalf of every citizen. As we have whom we have elected, we made the election, we had won for the election and we made Mr. Narendra Modi as a Prime Minister. Now what he is doing? He is governing this nation on behalf of us. He is taking the decision making on behalf of us. Whatever the rules and regulations he is trying to make, the new rules and regulations is only and only taking in mind about the benefits of the citizen, the security, the care of the people. Next, this democracy. Now, do you know what? Democracy form of the government is now being followed in mostly in the present society. I don't think so any rare society is now being left where democratic form of government or democracy is not followed. Next is that elections used to help, where they elect their own representative who is going to govern the nation on their behalf. Now, what does actually means for why we used to elect our own representative? See students, over here we elect our own representatives by checking the work of the that particular representative previously. Oh, that person was really very good, and this really we want that he or she should be our leader, because if we will get the power, he can do extraordinary works for us, and being an helpful hand to the needy one, he will also help to improve the condition of the nation. Now this usually keeping in mind, people go for election. Next point is the democracy helps out people to make their ideas true and even to help others. What does it mean now? The democracy helps out the idea to make people. Means what usually people used to think. The people usually used to think about the nation where we can live peacefully and happily. We can enjoy our life without any interference of the state or the government. Same like here. In this, the democracy, what actually is being done. Over here, the people are enjoying their rights and their duties very nicely. They are living a very freedom life. It means no one is there to interfere what they are doing in their personal life or the official life. Official life obviously is very different from the personal life, but in the personal life also they are very free. No inherent interference is there. Now you cannot take that interference as if your parents are telling you, go and study, go to sleep, don't watch the television. That is not the inherent interference. Over there it means that the parents actually are giving for your betterment. As you all know that we are fighting with the corona disease. Now here the decision is being taken by the Prime Minister that the people are not allowed to come out their houses. Why so? Because it is going to give a bad impact on our health and we are going to stuck with the disease of corona, which is a very dangerous disease. And just because of this, he had took this decision. Now this is not called an interference. This is called where the person is taking the decision on behalf of our safety purpose. This will be good for us in future. When we will be safe, we will be secure. And when we secure, we will be live happy and peaceful life. Next is our country, India. Is actually the main example of a democratic country. Why so? Because here in this India country, every person is enjoying their equal rights, and including not with the rights, they are also fulfilling their duties properly. So it means equal rights and equal duties. Both are being done in India and without seeking for any sort of discrimination. They really don't want to see any sort of discrimination when it is coming to the part of the development of any country. Next point is dictatorship. Dictatorship. Actually, it is a form of a government where the dictator gives rules and regulation, and it is must to be followed by them, the people of that citizen of the country. Now, actually dictatorship is totally been abolished. In dictatorship, usually any singular particular person is encouraging his power and coming in a form of a new government or ruling the nation. Second, it is also said to be the military sort of government where any crucial power is coming for the military session, where the person or the chief head of that military governs the nation. Do you remember Hitler? Hitler was an army head, and what he did? He took the charge of the nation and ruled that country, and he was a very strict ruler. The rules and regulations, whatever he made, was so strict that the people really hated him, and also the people wanted him to be get rid of as soon as possible. In the dictatorship, actually a dictator is a self-leader who come up with his own ideas for his or her own development first, because he want to be the superior inside the country. Dictatorship is now mostly not at all encouraged, because the power not only will be with one person. Now here in dictatorship, usually the powers were held only in one person head. Until the time period, either they leave that position by their own or they die, and then after their death the position is being transferred or the powers are being transferred to other people. So this was dictatorship, where the people has to follow the rules and regulations made by the dictator. The dictator who is a self-leader, who come up of his own or especially for his own development. Now let's discuss about the two tales of democracy. Tales means short stories regarding the democracy. Here in the two tales, we are going to discuss about Chile and Poland. These two countries were very small countries, are very small countries, but in those countries, previously it was a democratic form of government. In between, it changed into other sort of government like military form of government or dictatorship. And again, it was being changed into the democratic form and government. And how do these changes occur in their countries? So we are going to discuss briefly about these two tales of democracy. Now, let's come on the first tale of democracy, the tale of or the democracy of Chile. Chile is a country in South America that borders the South Pacific Sea. The neighboring countries, which include Chile, are Argentina, Bolivia, and Peru. Actually, students, Chile had a variety of the geography. So many new things have been coming over here. Especially, you know that the Chile occupies a long, narrow coastal strip between the Andes Mountain to the east and the Pacific Ocean to the west. It also stretches sea lanes between the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. Now, coming to the governmental sector of Chile, the government system in Chile is a republic. The chief of the state and the head of the government is the president. Chile has a market-oriented economy in which prices of goods and services are determined in a free price system. Chile is a member of Asia Pacific Economic Corporation. I repeat, Chile is a member of Asia Pacific Economic Corporation APEC and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I again repeat once again, Trans-Pacific Partnership, that is TPP. Now these two institutions have been working especially for the economic sector. Chile. Now this was a short introduction about Chile. So Chile is situated where? Chile is situated in the South America that borders South Pacific Sea. It is also having the neighboring countries named Peru, Bolivia and Argentina. Very good. Now let us discuss about what happened in Chile and who was the main leader of the Chile or the president of Chile. Now let me introduce you all to a person named Salvador Allende. Now Salvador Allende was actually the president of Chile, of South America. He was the founder of the Socialist Party in Chile, who won the presidential elections in 1970. He was actually a very good ruler, but due to some policies that he made, it all made him against especially the rich people, the landowners and the church. Why so? Because he was actually having a very heart-touching or a pity heart related to the poor people, especially to the landless laborers and small kids. So the honesty, the good behavior of the president was not being liked by the people over there. Now, he was being gone through to the military people, though his rule was overthrown by the military just after 3 years, 11 September 1973. He was a good president, he always wanted that every citizen of my country should live a happy and a peaceful life. Either they are the rich people or the poor people. But at that time when everything happened, the rich people, the church people, the landless people, the landowners, they all were against the policies of the Salter Allende. So what actually happened in his rule? Let's continue with the next point. As I told you all that Allende was a very good president. So under being in his rule, he took several policies to help poor. First, to reform the educational system, where especially what he did was that below the kids of 14 years, they were being provided free education. Second, he also provided free milk for children. And he also redistribution was held of lands among the landless laborers, especially to the landless laborers. The landless laborers who were not having the lands for their own work, for their cultivation, the crops or other aspects, he was providing land to those such type of people. Now, he also opposed to those foreign countries who were taking the natural resources from the country without paying any cost to them. He wanted that whatever the natural resources we are having, it should be and only being used by us, not by other countries, as at present whatever the natural resources we are having, we also provide to other countries, and we also take some natural resources from other countries on vice versa procedure. Now this was actually not being accepted by Allende. So Allende, what he did, he stopped and opposed those foreign countries who were utilizing the natural resources of our country, that was Chile. Due to the policies made by Allende, everyone was in opposition, and especially to the rich class people, the landlords, the rich and the church, because at that time obviously discrimination was on its peak, and the people you has to be face the problem of discrimination, and especially the minorities, the poor section, and including not only these things, there were several other political parties also who were not liking the work or the system or the procedure of the government of Allende. So what they actually did, they raised their voice against Salvador Allende, and finally he was being put it back from his position. Now students, there is a twist here. Allende was not only being he was not being put it back from his position. It means his power, his duties were not being snatched. He actually denied to follow all these things. What he did, he faced the problem, and finally actually he was being dead in the military attack done on his house. On the morning of 11 September 1973, the military took over the seaport and arrested the defense minister when he arrived to his office. As the defense minister was being arrested, over there the military commanders went to the president's house and said to Allende to resign from his post. Now Allende actually denied to resign from his post, and he also said that I am not going to leave this country anyhow, requesting again and again and making him understand all the things. The military corps was not being able to make him convince, and finally the military corps attacked on the president's house. and they start bombing it. Bombing means throwing bombs on the president house. Now, what do you mean by the word coup? Coup is actually a sudden and a violent, illegal seizure of power to form a government. It is, you can say, an army, a military group or a troop who wanted to form a government and now being telling or making the last government or the last leader to betray or to refuse or to reject from his position, to resign from his position. But as he is not doing or fulfilling whatever the military corps is saying, so in that condition what they are doing, they are making them to die. Okay, they are attacking them and conquering them. Same like here, the military corps attacked on the house of Allende, it means the president house, and they started bombing it. And after bombing and duration of that bombing and attack, what happened? Finally, Salvador Allende, the president of Chile, got dead in this military attack. And thus how the Allende's rule came to an end. And after this, a dictatorship started in Chile under the reign of Pinochet. Pinochet, who was an army general. Now see what actually and how did end of the Salvador Allende government came into an end. On 11 September 1973, President Allende died in a military attack. This was a sacrifice he was talking about in his last speech. And what did he say? That no one can stop him in doing or governing the nation. Only his death can make him stop. And this he really proved that he was a word spoke up. He kept his wordings and he died for this country. What took actually in the story was the military couple under the governance of the General Augusto Pinochet. Augusto Pinochet, who was the army general. Now the USA government was actually not happy with the work of Allende because they were taking him as that he was actually helping Allende also, and he was also being known to support the coup for destroying the Allende. Actually, in this scenario, what the main condition was, the USA government took Pinochet as a bad ruler. They never supported Pinochet for their betterment or for any other sort of military help. They found it that Pinochet is a main ruler person who made the Salvador Allende, the president of Chile, killed in a military attack. Now, let me discuss about Pinochet's rule. Now, Pinochet's rule. You all know Pinochet's, the full name of Pinochet was Augusto Pinochet. Now, Augusto Pinochet was actually an army general who helped the military coup to end the Allende's rule. Now, Pinochet became the president of the country and ruled for next 17 years. To form the government was elected, usually but been done in a democratic form. The people used to vote and they used to govern. The representative used to govern the nation. But now, under the Pinochet's rule, the government changed and it changed into a military form or a dictatorship. Over there, it was the power was being shifted to the military officers. Now, over here, whatever the military officers wanted, they were doing whatever they liked to do. And no one had the authority to question them. They have the right to govern the nation. And that's how the military dictatorship was established in Chile. Students, now are you able to see the two criteria over here? Firstly, during the Salvador Allende, it was a democratic form of government. And as Salvador Allende's rule ended, and Pinochet took the ruling power, what happened? The ruling power or the government formation changed from the democratic to the military dictatorship. And as I told you the meaning of dictatorship, dictatorship is a sort of government where one person take his group and stand to govern the nation, especially for its own benefit things, for its own happiness, and whatever he is doing the functions in the society or inside the country for its own betterment, not for the benefit or the beneficiary aspects of the people or the citizens of the nation. So same like here, Pinochet established his military dictatorship in Chile. Now, that Pinochet, what actually happened? Pinochet's government was actually torturing and killing several those people who were being in favor of Allende. Allende, who was a former president of Chile, and he was a very good president. He proved to be a very humble, especially to the poor peoples and the kids. But Pinochet didn't like all these things. So, after attacking and killing Allende, he took over the rule, and he also killed and tried to destroy all those people who were coming to the support of Allende or who wanted to establish again the democratic form of government inside the country. And the people who were making other people motivated to speak against Allende for his function, whatever he is doing. Now, after getting all these criteria, and Pinochet thought that I will be throwing to an referendum. Now, what do you mean by referendum? Referendum is actually a direct vote in which an entire electorate is asked either to accept or reject a particular proposal. Now, Pinochet thought that after such a long duration of my ruling power and authority, I hope people might have looked at the work of mine, how I work. And for that, I think that it is the best work I am doing. So over here, I go for a referendum. I will ask and tell the people to just or accept me as a king, or we continued my ruling section. Now, Pinochet was in a fairyland that the people are going to accept his proposal, and they wanted that Pinochet should continue as their ruler. But he was totally wrong, and his dream broke out after this referendum. After this referendum, what happens? The people didn't like and didn't voted for Pinochet to continue. He was thinking for the yes. The people will say, yes, we want you to continue. But finally the people, what they said? They said, no, we don't want you to continue as a ruling authority of our nation. Now, as I told you all, that he was too much confident about the result, and he knew that the people are going to accept him as his ruler. But the people denied, and they said no for this thing. Now, after this no, what actually happened? He lost his power on both the bases, on the political criteria also and the military criteria. Over here, Allende actually released his last speech. Allende, what actually he said in his last speech? One day it will come when felony, cowardice and treason will finally be punished. Okay, what does it mean now? Felony, cowardice and treason. Cowardice means the person who is stupid, who is very afraid of everything, and that's why the person used to overreact. Okay, treason, making some opposite side or wrong to types of rules and regulations which is not good for the people to follow, and forcing the people to follow those people, otherwise you will be killed or being sentenced to death or executed. Felony means which is the person who is living for his own, doing the work for his own beneficiary thing. They are not concerned about any of the new criteria here. And Alan Day already knew that the time when the people are going to do this, the ruling power is going to do this, finally it is going to come to an end very soon, because the people are not stupid to follow these things. So finally, after whatever the Pinochet did and after the referendum, finally Alan Day's commitment, the statement of Alan Day was rediscovered in the history of Chile. He said, Pilane, Cadiz and Treason were finally being punished, and they will be punished future for aspects too. And Pinochet government came to an end. Pinochet government came to be known as not very brutal but also very corrupt one. It means whatever the rules and regulations they are making, they were strict. They were strict, too much strict. They were also being very corrupted one, because they were only taking care or taking consideration about their own aspect, not about the benefits of the citizens. And this how the Pinochet rules came to an end. Next is, let me introduce you all to Michelle Bachelet. Michelle Bachelet, who was a daughter of General Augusto Bachelet, who was imprisoned and tortured along with her mother for so many years. You know, students, during the reign of Pinochet, what he did, Pinochet arrested all those people who were in favor of Alan Day's theory. They wanted that country should be again conquered or to become a part of a democratic form of government. They do not wanted to go for the dictatorship at all, and they didn't like the work of Pinochet. So they were being all arrested inside their houses or behind the bars. Now here Michelle Bachelet was also being arrested with her mom, and she was being miserably tortured over there. But in January 2006, and especially after the end of Pinochet's rule, she became the president and was being elected as a president of Chile. Now, who was actually Michelle was? Michelle was a medical doctor and a moderate socialist. Michelle, she became the first defense minister of Latin America. She also stood up for the presidential elections, and she became the first woman of Chile to become the women president. Including that, you all know what? Michelle defeated one of the richest person of Chile. She took almost the votes over here, and where she became the president. And as she became the president, the condition of Chile got improved. She proved to be a very good ruler. She proved to be a very good and a generous-hearted president who not only worked for the public, not only worked for the nation, but in many other criteria she has worked for other parts of the countries, for other parts of the world also. She was also being related to the UNICEF, the UNA and the other criteria of United Nations. She was a very, very good leader. She was a very humble person who used to listen to the difficulties, the problems, the bad situations of the public. You know one basic point about Michelle Bachelet? Michelle Bachelet never gone for any sort of security purpose. She was a very free person. She used to meet the public, normal public, very humbly, just like as, and treat them as their family members. Under the reign of Michelle Bachelet, Chile has occupied a good position inside the world. Chile was being recognized among the good countries of the world, where it was not only being improved in form of an economic sector, but in various other aspects also. And especially for this, Michelle Bachelet was always being remembered in the history of the Chile. Now here, I want to discuss something new about Michelle Bachelet. Michelle Bachelet, when she took the oath for working as a president or taking an oath for becoming a president of the nation, what actually she said in her speech? Because I was the victim of hatred. I repeat once again, because I was the victim of hatred, I have dedicated my life to reserve that hatred and turn it into understanding, tolerance, and why not say it into love. Why did she say all these things? She said all these things because, as you all know, that Michelle Bachelet was a daughter of General Augusto Bachelet. General Augusto Bachelet, who was in a favor of Allende's rule, his philosophies and theory, and wanted again to be re-established our democratic form of government inside Chile. But during the reign of Pinochet, he didn't like it at all. And in that scenario, what he did, in that condition, he made Mr. Bachelet, the General Bachelet, and his family arrested. And over there, she and her mother was imprisoned and they were miserably tortured too. And after seeing all these conditions, the feeling of hatred developed in her heart and she wanted it to change as soon as possible. So she said that because being a victim of hatred, I decided that whatever I will do, and I will try to make this hatred in the term of understanding, in term of tolerance, in term of the most important thing of the word, that is love, where we used to love each other, where we used to care for each other, where there is no discrimination, where there is no inequality, where there is always a freedom to speak whatever you want to do, wherever the people respect each other and have a kind hearted towards the needy people. The helping hands are 24 hours ready to help others. This the form of the government I want to make. And I know that I can easily make this with the help of you and only you. This what actually Michelle Bachelet wanted to say in her speech when she took the oath. And students, you will be glad to know that whatever the words she did and she made in her oath, she made it proved by her work. And still today, Chile, most of the part of the Chile, the functions of Chile are being remembered by her, where she is continuing for all those aspects. And she wanted to make, and still in favor of making Chile a more better place in the world. Now, let's come to the second tale, that is the tale of our democracy of Poland. Before discussing about democracy, let me tell and give you some introduction about Poland. Poland is a country in Central Europe, which is bordered by Belarus, Czech Republic, Germany, Lithuania, Russia, Slovakia, and Ukraine. The geography of the Poland is flat with mountains along with the southern border. The government system in Poland is a republic one. The chief of the state is the president and the head of the government is the prime minister. Poland has a mixed economic system which includes a variety of private economic freedom combined with centralized economic planning and government regulation. Poland is also a member of European Union, which is said to be EU. So what you got the information about Poland? Poland is a country in Central Europe. It has been bordered by some countries like Germany, Russia, Slovakia, Ukraine, Czech Republic, and Belarus. It has a geographical aspect with the flat with mountains along with the southern border. It is the government, the form of the government functioning in Poland is a republic where the chief of the state is a president and the head is of that country or the government is said to be the prime minister. Like the same we are having in India. India is also said to be a republic country where the head of the state, it means the head of the country, is said to be the president and the head of the government is said to be the prime minister. And Poland also have a mixed sort of economic system. Now students, what actually happened in Poland? In 1980, Poland was actually being ruled by Polish United Workers' Party. And in this party, what was the policies that have been followed by this party was, there is no political party to allow any sort of government or any other sort of party. Only this party will work. No right to choose leader or speak against the government. The government was supported and controlled by the government of Soviet Union. It means USSR. Now here, due to these policies, after some time on 14th August 1980, the worker of Lenin shipyard in the city of Gdańsk went on a strike. That why do you all dominate us? Why do you all make so much policies that we are not going to follow? Why we cannot speak against whatever we want or we wish? Why not any other political party can form their government or any other party has not the authority to come into existence? So what actually they demanded for, this shipyard people actually demanded to take back the crane operator. Crane operator means that the operator or the basic rule that we are the dominating one and below us you have to work. You cannot go beyond any other aspect of that. Now, the second one that the demands were, they also demanded for the women. They wanted that the women worker should not be unjustly dismissed from their position. Whatever they have the rights, they should be fulfilled. If they are working honestly, they should be fulfilling that the same honesty things. They are not being told to do any sort of injustice with them from their service, so they should be justly put it back to their service. In the Poland, during the work formation of the political party, that was the United Workers' Party, during that time trade union was illegal. No one can form any sort of union in the trade aspect. Lech Walesa, who was actually an electrician, he was dismissed from his services in 1976. And why he was dismissed? Because he was asking for a higher pay. He was demanding for a higher pay. What he did, after the dismissal, after being rusticated from his position, he joined the strikers. And finally, what actually they demanded for? They demanded to form an independent trade union. Okay, they demanded to release the political prisoners who ever been arrested during their reign of that party. They also demanded to end the censorship on press. Censorship on press means whatever the press people are writing, they are being to put it and went back to the censors, where the public, where the members of that censor used to modify the work. They used to judge the work, and wherever they find that this is something which is making or going to make people against the government, they used to remove that. What happens in the movies and the Bollywoods are the criteria. The movies are being sent to the censor. The board of censor used to watch that movies, and whatever they think that it's good for the public, they are only making those parts of the picture coming to the people, not all the other things. So same like here, end of the censorship of press, the people wanted the Lech Walesa party, the strikers wanted from the government. Now, finally, the end of the strike came. The workers were being led by Lech Walesa, okay, and what he did, he signed a 21-point agreement with the government, okay, and finally the strike came to an end. Now here the strike came to an end, understood, and due to this many people got actually understood the meaning of their rights, that yes, if we really want some good things for us, we have to go for the opposition or the revolution. Only in that condition we can get our rights. Otherwise, just sitting on their homes and putting the hands on hands and we can think that it can come to us. No, it is not going to achieve us, it is not going to achieve by you at all. Now, finally, the end of the strike came, and the result came inside the Poland. It came that it was a firm trade union. Trade union was rediscovered and they were being properly technical based on rules and regulations, and a good trade union was formed, and they also get a right to strike. Whenever they find any sort of injustice against them, they can go for their rights, and for getting the right, they can go for the strike also. Ganzek Agreement was signed. Ganzek Agreement, in which it was being said that every individual worker is going to get some right. They are going to get the authority to make their own trade union also, independent trade union. Now, same here again, what new thing happened? New trade union was formed, which was known as Solidarity. Now, solidarity, I repeat the word, solidarity. Solidarity, it is said to be the solid Gnostic in Polish language. Polish language, which is said to be the language of Poland. Now, next point is the revelation of widespread corruption and mismanagement in the government made matters worse. Now, just because of all these policies, the functions, whatever were going on inside that country, had made all the things jumbled with the functions of the government. They were unable to understand, either they have to concentrate on the work of the trade unions and the labor class people or the people who are working in the factories, or they have to take care of the people or the citizens inside the country. So everywhere throughout the whole Poland, only the corruption was being done. There was a sort of mismanagement. Nothing was going in a very proper form. During this condition, General Dzerzhinsky came and imposed a martial law. Martial law means military law in December 1981. Okay. Now, due to which what happened? Just as these people were making, the trade union people, they all were making so much of corruption inside the country and all, thousands of Solidarity members were put into prisons. All the members, mostly the members of these trade union committee, the new trade union committee, they were put into the prison. In 1988, Solidarity again organized the strikes. They again, as per the rules, the authority they have been provided, they again went on the strike, and the Polish government became weaker. Just because of the strike, the Polish government became weaker. Why? Because the people who are working for the country, who were serving the country, they stopped their work, and due to which the government was facing or started facing a problem. The support from Soviet Union uncertain and economic decline, and due to all these other martial law, whatever he put it, what happened due to it? It happened that they were not getting any sort of financial help from the Soviet Union, and economic condition due to which declined, and the financial position of the country became to the extent of a zero condition, because as the people went on strike, the workers were not working. They were not going for any development inside the country, due to which everything declined and stopped. the General Leszczynski imposed the martial laws inside Poland, and the conditions of the Poland became more worse because whatever the rules and regulations he made was creating a disastrous position of Poland. So again, finally, the democracy was being restored. They demanded for the restoration of democracy. Now in that, what happened? In April 1989, negotiations were done and Wałęsa resulted for a free election. He stood for an agreement for a free election. The strike got ended with an agreement of free election. And over there, the Solidarity came into a form of a political party. And you know what? The Solidarity Party itself won 99% out of the 100 seats in the Senate. Senate you can regard as a parliament. Parliament there in Poland, it's actually the Senate. And in October 1990, Poland had its first presidential elections in which more than one party could contest. Now, in 1989, the negotiation was done. Wałęsa agreed for a free election. The agreement was done. Solidarity took form the government. They won for 99 seats out of 100 seats, and that became the first political party who had conquered a huge number of political seats in one attempt. Now, in October 1990, what happened? Poland has its first presidential elections. And students know that Lech Wałęsa came to be and the first elected president of Poland, and by which the Solidarity political party got existence in the Poland. And this how from the democratic form of government, from the trade unions, they went to the political form of government, and from the political or the democratic form of government, they changed into the military, the dictatorship form of government. As General Leszczynski, what he did, the General Leszczynski, he formed the or enforced the martial law. Due to it, again the martial sort of government was being formed, and after this thing, again the strike went off, and finally Wałęsa became the first president or was being elected as a president of Poland, and Solidarity came as a political party inside the Poland. So these were the two tales where you learned about how these countries changed the works of the procedure. Suddenly it was a democratic change into the military rule, and finally again the people opposed and they formed and got back the democratic form of government inside the country. Now in these two tales, what actually you understood? You understood that democracy is a sort of government only in which the people can live really very freely. They can enjoy their rights, they can enjoy their duties also with a peaceful environment, because they are being able to take care or to check out the work of the government, whatever they are doing. If they are doing anything wrong, they have the right to speak against. They have the right to make the government stop in doing any wrong action against the people of the country. So, democratic form of government actually came into existence, and it also made the people or made the other rest part of the world to show its importance, how the democratic form of government is beneficiary in comparison to the military form of government or monarchy form of government. Now students, in this video we have cleared, I hope you all are clear with the tales of democracy. What is the difference among the monarch, the dictatorship and the democracy, and also the whatever the changes it had. In Chile, what happened? Salvador Allende, he was the president of Poland. He started with a democratic form of government, but suddenly Pinochet came. Pinochet, who was a army general, he took over the country by attacking on the president house, where Allende died in bomb blasting on the military attack. Next, after the Pinochet's rule, the people again raised their volume against the injustice done by the people. And finally, Michelle Bachelet came into existence. Michelle Bachelet, who was the first women lady or president of the Chile. She was the daughter of General Augusto Pasteur, who was being imprisoned. His whole family was imprisoned during the reign of Pinochet. Why she was being imprisoned? Because her father and her family was in the favor of Allende's theory, and they wanted Chile again to become a democratic country. And finally she achieved that position and she became the president of Chile. And she made and she filled and changed all the rules of Chile, whatever the bad rules affecting the life of the people or the citizen of his country. Next, whatever discuss about Poland. Poland where a trade union party, workers' Labour Party, we was working over there, and they were not being allowed, the citizens were not being allowed to make any other sort of party or a political party inside that country, and they have to follow the rules and regulations made by that particular form of government. The people started raising their voice. What actually they demand for? They wanted to provide and make their own trade unions, okay, independent trade unions, by which what they can do and make the, first of all, what they wanted to take the crane operators because they were actually enforcing people to work endlessly, and also they wanted to raise a voice regarding the women's. They wanted that women should not be restricted or misplaced from their position or dismissed from their services without any reason. No reason behind it. They had not done anything wrong with the company or with the country or the union, but still they are being dismissed from their positions. This was again led to the revolution. Now here, as the people went on the strike, the workers went on the strike, trade union was totally made illegal. Now here, Lech Walesa, who was actually an electrician, he joined the strike. Why he joined the strike? Because as he was being dismissed from his service. And why he was being dismissed from his service? Because he was asking for the higher pay. So what actually they decided for and they demanded for? They demanded to form an independent trade union. Not this only one particular trade union will work in a country. They also demanded for the imprisonment or the release of the political prisoners who ever been arrested, and also they wanted the end of the censorship of the press. And finally, at the result, the strike got ended with the agreement of 21 points with Walesa for the government. Because as this strike was being led by Walesa, so agreement was also being signed by Walesa itself with the government. Now, what was the result of this? The result was that they were being ready to form a new trade union. They were ready to strike. They got the right to strike whenever they found anything wrong. Gansak agreement was signed. Actually, in this agreement, both the trade unions, the Walesa party and other unions and other political party, the ruling party, signed each other with 21 agreement that is said to be the Gansak agreement. Now here, a Nate trade union came into existence that is said to be the Solidarity Party. The Solidarity Party, it is said to be the Solidarność in the Polish language. Now here, just because of these so many corruptions, what actually made, it all made the this position or the situation worse, okay, because there was a loss of mismanagement going on, and after that General Czerski imposed the martial law in December 1981, and due to which what happened in 1980, the imprisonment of this martial law, everyone was being arrested. The people who were in favor of solidarity, they were being put it against the bars. Solidarity against the organized strike. The people who were coming in the mine, okay, they were coming for their rights. Everyone was being put inside the bar. Now, due to which what happened, the Polish government became weaker. Now, as the Polish government became weaker over there, what happened? Just because of this, the Soviet supporter, the Soviet Union was not certainly stopped helping for this country. And just because as the Soviet Union also stopped helping this country, the economic condition of this country became worse and started declining. And due to the declining, again, the country thought to reinforce or to restore the democracy inside the government. And in April, finally in 1989, negotiations were done with Welsza, and which resulted to an agreement of free election. And in this free election, Solidarity came into in form of a next political party, and which was being led by Welsza itself. Now here, when the election, the first political or presidential sort of election was being done, Welsza came to be the first president or elected president of Poland. And in this election, the Solidarity Party won 99 out of 100 seats of the Senate. And where actually why they were being won, because the rules and regulation and whatever the functions, the work they did, especially are being liked by the people. They simply like the work of those members of the Solidarity Party, because they all were doing in the favor of the upliftment of the country. This all what we did in this second part, the two tales of democracy. And I hope this is too much clear to you regarding that how do suddenly the country changes into one form of government to another form of government. So ending this, I thank you everyone for watching this video, and I hope the content of the two tales of democracy is totally been clear to you all. Till then, have a nice day and a great day ahead.